Hola, ¿cómo estás? So tonight we're in Los Angeles, and I'm with Andrew Walker. And Andrew, how long have we known one another?
We have known each other for, it's probably practically to the weekend, like 8 years now. Crazy trip to Quebec City.
Oh.
Yeah, April 2001.
He alludes to something that I want to talk about.
It's just a crazy weekend of partying, being tear gassed, and just a wild time. Drove straight up from DC to Quebec City. It was like a crazy 20-hour car ride up, and
stayed in youth hostels.
We were in there getting into like arguments with communists and all kinds of strange characters who were in the hostel with us.
But we were the strangest because there were like what, 8 of us, and and then how many protesters were there? Like a million?
I don't know if it was a million. It was a million, man, but it was thousands and thousands of people, and it was a really militant protest that you don't really seem to see in 2009 anymore. The idea was like literally to shut down the free trade agreement of the Americas, which would have been this idea that would have taken NAFTA and extended it straight through the Western, hemisphere. And again, has always been a lot of debate in the libertarian movement about, are these free trade agreements really about free trade, or are they really just about, centralizing political power on kind of a transnational scale? So
yeah, I mean, it's totally managed trade. The question is, if it moves free trade and trade in a more free direction, should we support it? I say yes, but these trade agreements are just tremendous. They're all these papers that have to be agreed upon by all these bureaucrats, and so I don't know. Yeah, we were just there for like pure free trade.
Yeah, pure real free trade, kind of just boiling it down to like, if you're gonna have free trade, just say we will have free trade. You don't need, a 20,000 page or whatever it was document with all kinds of kickbacks to people.
Special interests protected.
Yeah, special interests being protected, and so on and so forth, which is what a lot of those agreements have tended to be about, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Rather than actually just simply saying, okay, no more barriers. We're going to have free movement of peaceful people and goods across borders.
So we'll fast forward a little bit, and then I started working for Bureaucrash. Andrew was pretty straight up. He's like, yeah, I can't really do much with Bureaucrash because you guys don't take a position on the war. And I'm like, the war's controversial, and we're not taking a position on that. Andrew, this is the moment.
The moment of truth.
This is the moment where I say, you were completely right. It's been said war is the health of the state, and how an activist organization can't touch the war, I don't understand it, right? I mean,
yeah.
Well, I was a different person back then. I hate to admit. I'm gonna come clean. This is my confessional, because like,
does that make me a priest or something? Do I have a confession here
or something?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I supported Afghanistan, and then I supported the Iraq War. I trusted our leaders, and we see where that got us. I mean, a lot of people trusted George Bush, and so there's some kind of connection between Saddam Hussein and Al-Qaeda, and I'm like, well, you have more information than I do, I guess I should trust you. Whereas Andrew was just marching in the rallies, and he was surrounded by leftists. Tell me about the In the Fed rally today.
In the Fed rally today, there's a nationwide campaign. I largely grew out of the grassroots component of the Ron Paul campaign in 2007, 2008. And a lot of folks have really gotten into supporting Ron Paul's HR 1207 to audit the Fed, which has actually been, getting a surprisingly positive amount of play in Congress.
Why should we end the Fed?
Why should we end the Fed? We should end the Fed because its inflationary policy ends up distorting and debasing our currency, reduces the value of the dollar over time, when it's not tied to anything, you can take a paper currency and print and print and print, or these days enter numbers onto a completely computerized system and basically create money out of thin air that has no real objective value to it. And the laws of supply and demand that affect anything also affect money. Too much new money created out of thin air becomes worth less and less and less.
I love the meme, in the Fed. Yeah. We need to extend that to in the Fed government.
Yeah.
But one step at a time. Tell us about the venue we went to tonight.
Venue we went tonight. We went to start out the night at Cantor's Deli, which is a LA landmark that's been around for years, literally decades. I think like
80 years.
Yeah, like something like 80 years. Yeah. It's you know, all kinds of famous people have been there. The owner of it is like buddies with Guns N' Roses, like back when they were, you know, starving, you know, kids trying to make it in the 80s.
I think Axl Rose is still starving.
Yeah, Axl Rose is still starving.
20 people showed up, and we were able to talk Liberty, and so yeah, a lot of people came from the Fed rally today.
Yeah.
And anyway, Andrew Walker, I appreciate
Jason Talley.
I appreciate
Yes.
wherever you go, man. I'll follow. You're way ahead of me on the issues and being hardcore. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. That's, no, I gotta give you props. You're much more active these days than I am. Like you kind of took like I may have, you know, maybe with the war or whatever, I was a little bit of a catalyst. But you know, I mean, I've gone other ways. Like I'm in, you know, grad school for psychology and stuff now. But you've really taken this and just done some amazing things. First with Bureaucrash, and now with the Motorhome Diaries. So you know, props to you, man. Yeah.
Well, thanks. But you know, you got 20 people out tonight and stuff like that. So it's good. It's good seeing you again. And anyway, thanks.
Definitely.
Thanks, Andrew Walker. Thanks for tuning in.
And that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.